Ever feel like you're just drowning in cybersecurity news? It's like a constant wave, right?
Oh, absolutely. Information overload is real.
1 minute you think you're okay, the next there's some new threat, new vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's relentless.
Yep.
So today we're trying to cut through some of that noise, give you a shortcut maybe to being genuinely informed.
Practical pathway.
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive into the Cybersecurity Readiness Goals Cross-Sector Toolkit. It's from the Cyber Center.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't just, high-level talk. It's got 36 specific goals, really actionable stuff to help organizations, get stronger.
Yeah, and that's our goal today, isn't it? To pull out the key bits, those sort of aha moments.
Right.
We want to translate these pretty comprehensive guidelines into things you can actually use. Maybe you're prepping for a meeting or just need to catch up.
We're just curious.
Or just really curious, yeah. How can organizations actually, prioritize where they put their money and really lift their security game?
So, structure-wise, we'll walk through the toolkit's 5 main areas: govern, identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover.
The full life cycle.
Yep. Picking out key strategies, maybe some surprising bits too.
Sounds good.
Okay, but before we really jump in, just a quick word about our sponsor, www.cisomarketplace.com. Look, if you're a CISO or you work in cyber leadership and you're thinking about how to actually implement the kinds of robust measures we're about to talk about.
Finding the right tools and services.
Exactly. You should definitely visit www.cisomarketplace.com. They're a fantastic resource for navigating, the pretty complex world of cyber solutions. Yeah. They connect you with what you need.
Good resource to know.
So check them out. Okay, let's unpack this thing. Where do we start? Governance.
Yeah, always governance. Robust cybersecurity, it really has to start there at the top.
Right.
It's not just about the tech you buy. It's leadership. It's accountability across the organization.
Makes sense if you don't have that foundation.
Exactly. Even the best tech, it can just fall flat.
So this govern category, it really lays that groundwork. And looking through it, goal 0.0, privacy leadership, that jumped out. It says you need a single leader or a team who's clearly accountable for cyber-related privacy risk.
Which isn't always the case, is it? Sometimes it's a bit diffused.
Right. And it's not just ticking a box. It means having proactive policies, managing personal info, knowing what you have, setting limits on how long you keep it.
Being proactive, not just reacting when something goes wrong with privacy.
Yeah, building it in.
Exactly. It shifts privacy from being like an afterthought to a core risk management thing.
Okay.
And speaking of risk, another area often overlooked, supply chain. Goals, point 1 and point 2.
The dreaded supply chain risk.
Yep. Managing risk across all your vendors, your service providers, it's critical.
So what does the toolkit say? What's the action?
Well, it says you need to demand incident notification in your contracts with clear timeframes based on risk.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
And, maybe the harder part, embedding cyber requirements into procurement and actually preferring more secure options, even if they cost more.
Ooh, okay. That's the kicker, isn't it? Are companies really doing that, preferring security over cost?
That is the million-dollar question. It requires a certain maturity level, I think. Understanding the total cost of not being secure.
Right, the potential fallout versus the upfront cost.
Precisely. And, justifying that higher cost to leadership. That can be a battle.
I can imagine. It's often about immediate ROI, isn't it? Or just maybe not fully grasping the long-term risk involved.
It's often a mix of both, yeah. The toolkit making that explicit recommendation, though prioritize security over lowest cost, it's actually quite powerful. It sends a message.
Definitely. What else in governance? There was something about IT and OT.
Yes. Goal point 4. This one was, kind of fascinating. Improving the relationship between IT and operational technology security teams.
Okay, that's often a tricky relationship.
Very tricky. And the recommendation, get this, an annual relationship building activity that is specifically not a working event.
Wait, really? Like go bowling or something?
Something like that. The idea is to improve OT security and response by just opening up communication lines, building trust, establishing common ground outside of a crisis.
That's actually really clever, because when things hit the fan, that's when those relationships can break down if there's no prior trust.
Exactly. It recognizes that some of the biggest challenges aren't purely technical, they're cultural. Bridging that IT-OT divide, sometimes it's about the human element.
Okay, so that's a strong foundation in governance. Where next? Identify.
Yep, identify. Makes sense, right? Before you can protect anything, you've got to know what you actually have.
Map the kingdom walls.
Pretty much. You need to really understand your whole digital footprint.
So goal 1.0, asset inventory and network topology, sounds foundational.
Absolutely bedrock. The goal is to identify all your assets. Known, unknown, unmanaged. Cloud stuff, data assets, everything.
That sounds like a huge task for some places.
It can be, but it's essential. The action is to keep a regularly updated inventory. IT, OT, even IPv6 networks. Document the topology. Log new stuff immediately.
If you don't know it exists,
you can't protect it. You're operating with massive blind spots. It's step one.
Okay, what follows inventory? Vulnerabilities.
Oh, got it. Goal 1.1, mitigating known vulnerabilities. Reducing the chance that attackers exploit stuff we already know is broken.
So patch, patch, patch.
Pretty much. Especially known exploited vulnerabilities, like those on the CISO KV list. Prioritize internet-facing systems, critical assets.
Right, but what about OT? Patching can be really disruptive, sometimes impossible.
Good point. And the toolkit addresses this. For OT, where patching is hard, it stresses using compensating controls.
Like what?
Things like network segmentation or maybe enhanced monitoring around that vulnerable asset. The point is, you don't just ignore the risk because you can't patch. You find another way to manage it.
That's a really important distinction. Manage the risk intelligently.
Exactly. Which kind of leads into goal 1.2, third-party validation.
How do you know your defenses actually work?
That's the question it answers. The toolkit pushes for annual, rigorous testing, pen tests, bug bounties, incident simulation.
Okay.
And this is key, include unannounced tests. See how people really react.
Ooh, tough love.
Yeah, but necessary. And it's not just finding the holes, it's about fixing the high-impact stuff quickly. It makes security real, not just theoretical.
And that real-world readiness that must connect to incident response planning, goal 1.3.
Directly. Develop, maintain, update, and crucially regularly drill your IT and OT IR plans.
Drilling.
Yeah.
Not just having a plan sitting on a shelf.
Exactly. You need to practice for different scenarios. They even mentioned considering AI-enhanced attacks now.
Wow. Okay, so when organizations drill these plans, what's the most common mistake you see? Where do they fall short?
That's a great question. Often it's that they don't test it under realistic pressure. They walk through it, maybe.
Go through the motions?
Yeah. They don't introduce curveballs, or they focus only on the tech steps and forget the communication, the decision-making, the who gets what resource when.
The human element under stress.
Precisely. A proper drill reveals those coordination weaknesses. That's what a CISO needs to see.
Gotcha. What else in that FAR? Identify. There was something simple. Security.txt. Goal 1.4.
Ah, yeah. Often overlooked, but so simple and useful. Just having a standard security.txt file on your public websites.
What does that actually do?
It tells security researchers, the good guys, how to contact you quickly and easily if they find a vulnerability.
Ah, so it encourages responsible disclosure.
Exactly. Simple step, but it can make a real difference in getting vulnerabilities reported to you, not sold somewhere else.
Okay, good tip. Right, that covers identify. Now the big one, protect.
Yeah, this is the largest section, lots of hands-on controls here, where the defenses really get activated.
Where do we start? Passwords. Seems like there's always something new with passwords.
Always. And the toolkit has quite a bit here. Let's break it down. First, goal 2.0, changing default passwords, absolute basic hygiene.
You'd think everyone does this.
You'd think. But the toolkit stresses an organization-wide policy. Change defaults on everything hardware, software, firmware before it connects to the network, including IT interfaces for OT stuff.
And if you can't, legacy systems.
Then you need documented compensating controls and serious log monitoring. No excuses.
Got it. What about strength? Goal 2.1.
Okay, this one is really interesting, especially for folks who've been in the field a while. The recommendation. Minimum length. 15 characters.
15? Wow, that's long.
It is. And the key insight here is that the source explicitly says length is more important than complexity rules or forcing frequent rotations.
So, ditch the must-have symbol number uppercase hassle?
Largely, yes. They suggest passphrases like 4 random words or better. This totally flips the script on old password advice, which often just led to people writing them down anyway.
That's a big shift. Better security and usability.
Exactly. Then, goal 2.2. Unique credentials, don't reuse passwords.
Especially between IT and OT, I imagine.
Critically important there. If one account gets popped, you don't want it giving attackers keys to the whole kingdom, right? Unique credentials limit that lateral movement.
Makes sense. What about levers? Goal 2.3.
Revoking credentials. Sounds basic, but crucial. Have a solid process. Disable accounts, Get badges back immediately on departure day.
Cut off that potential insider threat vector.
Right. And finally, for passwords, goal 2.4. Separate user and privileged accounts.
Admins shouldn't use their God mode account for daily email.
Please don't. Have a standard user account for everyday stuff and a separate, highly secured account only for administrative tasks. Massively reduces the attack surface if the user account gets phished or hit with malware.
Okay, that's a lot on passwords, but all critical. What else in Protect? Network stuff?
Definitely. Goal 2.5. Network segmentation. Especially important for OT. The principle is deny by default, meaning no connection is allowed unless it's explicitly permitted, usually through something like a firewall or a DMZ that's actively monitored. Build secure zones, control the traffic flow, don't let OT networks be wide open.
Right. Secure zones. What about authentication beyond passwords, MFA?
Yes, goal 2.7. Phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication. Keyword there is resistant.
Not all MFA is created equal.
Definitely not. The toolkit lays out a hierarchy. Strongest. Hardware tokens like FIDO or WebAuthn, they resist phishing much better.
Okay.
Then things like mobile authenticator apps. Weakest and least preferred, SMS or voice call MFA, they can be intercepted or phished.
So push for the hardware tokens, especially for admins.
Absolutely. Prioritize your privileged accounts with the strongest MFA you can deploy. It's a huge risk reduction.
Makes sense. What about the human element again? Training. Goal 2.8.
Yep, basic and OT cybersecurity training. Annual training for everyone, employees, contractors. Cover the basics.
Yeah.
Phishing, BEC, password hygiene.
But not just box ticking.
No. Foster a real security culture. And critically, people securing OT systems need specialized annual training for those unique environments. It's not one size fits all.
That specialized OT training is key. Different risks, different constraints.
Totally different worlds sometimes.
Yeah.
We've all done those boring click-through trainings, right?
Uh-huh.
The toolkit wants more. Real learning, real culture change.
Okay. And what about when things inevitably go wrong? Backups. Goal 2.14.
System backups and redundancy, yes.
Yeah.
But it's not just having backups. It's where you store them separately from the source systems.
Offline or in a different security domain?
Exactly. And crucially, testing them annually.
Ah, the testing part again?
Yes. For OT, this means testing restores of PLC logic, engineering drawings, specific tools. You have to know your backups work.
That annual test, does it really happen? I feel like that often gets pushed down the priority list.
I think you're right. It's often seen as a hassle, a resource drain, until you desperately need it and find out it doesn't work.
Ouch.
The toolkit is trying to force that issue. Test your backups.
Okay, one more in Protect. Secure admin workstations. ESA. Goal 2.21.
Right, secure administrator workstations. The idea is dedicated, hardened machines just for admin tasks.
Isolated from the regular network.
Isolated from the general IT network, yeah. Restricted internet, restricted email. Creates a much safer, cleaner environment for doing sensitive work.
So you're less likely to get hit by malware or a phishing attack on the machine you use to control everything.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Limits the pathways for attackers to reach those critical controls.
Wow, okay. That Protect section is dense. So many controls.
It really is where a lot of the action happens.
And you can hear, implementing all this, it takes effort, tools, services. Which brings us back to our sponsor, www.CISOmarketplace.com. Seriously, if you're listening and thinking, how do I actually do all this? Or where do I find solutions for phishing-resistant MFA or secure workstations? That's what they help with.
Connecting leaders with the solutions they need.
Exactly. They make it easier to find vendors and tools aligned with these kinds of readiness goals. So check them out, www.CISOmarketplace.com.
Good plug.
Okay. So we've governed, identified, protected. But breaches can still happen, right?
Fortunately, yes. Even with the best defenses. So the last three categories, detect, respond, recover, they're all about resilience. How you handle it when things go wrong.
Minimize the impact, bounce back.
That's the goal. Starting with detect, goal 3.0 is detect relevant threats and TTPs.
TTPs is tactics, techniques, and procedures.
Right. You need timely awareness, the action. Document the threats and TTPs that are actually relevant to your industry, your organization.
Not just generic threats.
No, tailor it. And then make sure your systems, your rules, your alerts, your commercial tools can actually detect those specific TTPs. You can't detect what you aren't looking for.
That requires ongoing threat intelligence work.
It does, and it connects right back to logging, which we mentioned under Protect, goals 2.15 and 2.16, log collection and secure central storage.
Right, collecting all those logs, access, firewall, VPN.
And getting them into a central, secure place, like a SIEM, that's what gives you the visibility to actually use those TTP detections we just talked about.
And for forensics later.
Absolutely indispensable for forensics. It's how you find attackers hiding in the noise, maybe dwelling for weeks or months. Robust logging isn't just compliance, it's fundamental to detection.
Okay, so you detect something. Now, respond. Goal 4.0, incident reporting.
Yeah, this is about having clear, established policies for reporting confirmed incidents externally.
To who? Regulators, law enforcement, the cyber center.
Could be all of the above, depending on the incident and jurisdiction. The key is having the policy codified and ensuring timely reporting.
And why is that external reporting so important, beyond compliance?
Well, think bigger picture. When organizations report, it helps everyone else understand the threat landscape. It helps defenders, threat intel companies, government agencies. It contributes to collective defense.
Sharing information helps the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. Okay, final category, recover. Goal 5.0, incident planning and preparedness.
This is about getting back online.
It's about having the plans, tested plans, to recover your critical assets and operations. But it's also about learning from it.
How so?
The Toolkit strongly recommends a post-incident or post-drill hot wash.
A debrief.
A structured one. What went well, what didn't. What were the root causes? And critically, how do we integrate those lessons learned back into our governance, our IR plans, our controls?
Closing the loop.
Closing the loop. Making the whole system stronger and more adaptive for next time. That's true resilience.
Okay, so we've walked through all 5 categories.
Yeah.
What's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean for you, the listener?
Well, I think it shows that cybersecurity readiness isn't just one thing, right? It's not just firewalls or passwords.
It's holistic.
It's totally holistic. Governance, knowing your assets, protecting them, detecting breaches, responding effectively, and recovering quickly while learning lessons. They all interconnect.
It's a structured path, really, from being reactive to being genuinely resilient.
Yeah, and I think being well-informed today means understanding these layers, how they work together, not just chasing the latest shiny object. It's about building something solid, something adaptable.
A security program that actually, works when tested.
That's the goal.
Okay, so final thought for everyone listening. Considering everything we've just unpacked from these readiness goals, what's one specific action, one change, that you think your organization or maybe an organization you know well could implement, like tomorrow, that would have the biggest immediate positive impact on its overall cybersecurity posture? Something to chew on.